on the landing, and if she's not real careful, she might stand on her head here someplace.
You know, if there are any fantasies in life, I'm sure a lot of our viewers would say, beautifully done. And they'd like to do this event, Tad. They'd love to be up on a horse like Ben Arthur and give it a try.
Well, I'd like
but
to
don't try it until you've spent a lot of years practicing, right, Bill?
Yeah, I think that the task now for Karen is to hold this horse together a little bit. As he starts to get a little bit tired, just as Tad says, she's got to really...
How will she do it?
Well, she's going to do it the best she can, right? He's a lot bigger and stronger than she is.
Okay.
And that's the difficulty, that he doesn't start to get a little bit sprawly. He just wasn't as good through the waterfalls as he should have been.
Here she's coming to the ski jump.
Oh, big.
She ought to sit back here.
And he bellies that a little bit, but he's still
going
on
like
his
a
feet,
tiger.
still going.
Yeah, he's going like a tiger, really. But as he gets tired, it's harder and harder for her to hold him together.
He skied through that one, Ted.
He did ski through that one.
He certainly did.
You know, Karen is so aggressive cross country. If anybody can make the time and let it all hang out and really go for the money, it's Karen.
Well, she's an awfully tough competitor. I mean, we know the severity of a couple of the falls she's had, Tad. And she just came right back from that as if it were nothing.
That's a usable time, about the same as Ian Stark of Great Britain.
She really is through the toughest part of the course now. There is not too much that'll trip her up from here on. I shouldn't say that, because the minute you do, then disaster strikes. But they look very good at this point.
Tad, she may weigh 105, but Ben Arthur had to carry 165 pounds across that obstacle.
That's correct, and it's a lot harder on a horse to carry dead weight than live weight.
Only 2 fences to home, and she's got more than a minute to do it, and I think she's going to be right around the optimum time, Tad.
All right, watch at the bottom of your screen the clock, and they want to beat the clock. The optimum time of 13
she's
minutes.
Going to make
One
it,
from home. Here she comes right behind us now,
and
heading for the
flowers. A lot
flowers.
of gallop.
Flag and Flowers coming up.
A very aggressive ride.
All right, she has about 45 seconds to make it. And that would be the first under the optimum time, Tad.
And you know what that does? That moves the United States ahead of Great Britain, because they had 120.4 penalty points for 2 horses, and we would have, if she's clear, 115.6 penalty points. So that keeps us right there.
Clear and under the time.
And individually, of course, she takes the lead.
This 33-year-old equestrian. Oh,
she is 20 seconds under the time, and nobody has done that, and she's really put the pressure on the 2 in front of her, Hans Whaley Schmutz from Switzerland and also from Bruce Davidson.
Those are the penalty points, ladies and gentlemen, from her dressage performance at Santa Anita 2 days ago. No penalty points or time
So
points.
boy, was she cooking today.
Karen Stives, 33 years old, United States.
Teammate Mike Plum greets Karen Stives. At home, Karen and Mike work and train together, and earlier we asked them how their relationship works out in practice.
Karen and I ride together. We ride out of the same stable. We work together. She helps me, I help her. We have our difficulties sometimes, but I think we do very well to make it come out the way it does. I've had a lot more experience eventing than she has. Sometimes she doesn't realize that, and I have to remind her of it. But she's also a very smart girl and very good on the ground, and picks up things from just watching me, and it helps me a lot.
But I have to be very tactful with you, because you certainly don't like the fact, being that you're so much more experienced than I am, that I could see that you were perhaps doing something not just right.
Well, it's a matter of respect. Sometimes you don't have enough respect.
But I think that what I do see, as long as I put it properly, that you do gain from that. So I can add my 2 cents every now and then. But I think as competitors, it's not a disadvantage. Especially in a team situation, I think it'll make us stronger. I don't ever feel like I compete against Mike. I compete with him, and if I can't win, then he ought to. That's the order I put that in.
Karen Stives in the lead. Virginia Holgate of Great Britain second. Ian Stark of Great Britain is third, and Michael Plum of the United States fourth. This is a live picture of Torrance Watkins Fleischman.
The tactical situation is kind of interesting now. Diana Clapham, the third rider for Great Britain, had a fall, and it also cost her time. So she has a tough 165 penalty point score for the British team to have to carry. Torrance is coming now the slower way through the Fairbanks, but I think it's so much safer that it's the only thing to do. You can still do the optimum time even if you take this slow route through the Fairbanks.
Now we look at the team standings. The United States, #1 at this point. Sweden, #2, and France, #3. And here is the golfers' bench. 2 challenges for Torrance Fleischman.
The alternate way at the banks that we were talking about is a lot easier than the quick way, which involves a 6.5-foot drop. And we haven't seen all but maybe 1 or 2 horses go that way. So I think that most of the people we'll see now take the slow way. What's so impressive about this, Chris, is that these horses, we saw them just 2 days ago. They were in top hats and tails and looking so elegant in the dressage ring. And here they are going cross country, 24 miles an hour, jumping some very solid fences.
Will she go through the window?
She doesn't really have to.
No, she did.
No, she didn't even bother to bank that thing wide as it is. And he's kept all his rhythm. You've seen some horses at this stage that are starting to lose their rhythm of the galloping stride, but his galloping stride is just silken, and there's not a whole lot left of this course.
And she's got only 2 fences left, and if she can get through those 2 fences, the U.S. team is sitting in very good shape.
With Bruce Davidson yet to compete, and for Great Britain, Lucinda Green, the world champion, reigning world champion, has yet to go on the course. Look at that time, 12:32. She wants to beat 13. Torrance Watkins Fleischman here at Fairbanks Ranch, just north of San Diego, on a perfect day.
And she calls for him a little bit using her stick, and he's still there to answer her. These athletes have to be so fit.
Now 13 seconds, now 12.
The horses have gone 16 miles up to this point. Just a tremendous marathon effort. Jumps the last fence very well. She's just over the time now with 13 minutes, but she's not going to be much over the time.
That's going to be a wonderful score, and the U.S. is going to be in the catbird seat because Bruce Davidson riding last can really go for everything.
This is the man that led after dressage, but Tad Coffin, he had some problems earlier.
He certainly did, Chris. He took a real chance at fence #7. That's been giving people trouble all day long, and he just blew it. And we can say right now that the Americans are sitting in a very good position. Karen Stives at the moment is leading, and if she can keep on with that lead, she's got a real good chance for at least a silver medal. Now we'll see how Schmutz lost that gold medal on fence #7. And here he comes. You can see he tries to avoid the water by jumping from the land to the bridge, and he just takes too much of an angle and runs right down the walkway.
And he, representing Switzerland, is the only 3-day rider. So he was not going for any team score. He was going for the individual gold, having led after dressage. You know, there is water on this course, as on all 3-day eventing cross-country courses, and Tad Coffin going to give us a little lesson on how to train a horse to negotiate that problem.
We're at Black Oak Farm here in Hamilton, Massachusetts. This is Robert. He's a 7-year-old thoroughbred gelding, and he and I are going to show you how we go about teaching a horse to deal with the concept of water and how some of these Olympic horses have been taught to deal with the tremendous water jumps that are on the cross-country course. Ready, handsome? Okay, come on. Horses are domesticated nowadays to the point where we really have to reintroduce them to elements that used to be a part of their natural habitat. In order to introduce this concept of water, we start with the easiest way, and that's just walking back and forth through a stream, letting him get the feel of it, letting him come back and stand in it to show him that water is fun and that there's nothing to be afraid of. This is completely new to Robert. He has not had a lot of experience with water. In fact, he's never really been through a stream before. He's being very good for having that little bit of experience. Next, we try to introduce him to the next higher concept, which is to jump into water. Horses' fear of water stems from really two things. One, not knowing how deep it is, and two, not knowing what the footing's like in the water and what the footing's like in the bottom of the water. As you can see, Robert wants no part of this action. We might, at a stage, use another horse, an older and more experienced horse, to go through there before him and give him a lead. That's an option that we have, but we'll try to go around the side here and see if we can get Robert to stand in the water that we want him to jump into, and so he can trust that it's all right. Horses have incredibly good memories, and it's very important as a trainer to introduce the idea of going into water to the horse so that he has fun, he gets confidence, he enjoys it. Because if he has a bad experience here, it will really wreck it for the rest of his competitive career. So now in the water, we jump out, and so now he has the idea he can jump into water and jump out of water. So we'll see if we're more successful in getting him to go in this time, and give him a little kick there for encouragement. I lost my stirrup, but quickly got it back. That happens sometimes in jumping water. You can get unseated because you're not sure what the horse is going to do. As we can see, Robert's really learned to handle this concept. He's comfortable with jumping into water and then jumping out. So now we'll make it a little difficult, more difficult, by adding a fence in front of the water and asking him to jump the fence, then jump into the water, and then jump out. And he's a little hesitant, but as you can see, he's getting the idea. Horses are such quick learners. There he's much more confident.
3 women are in the individual lead, Stives, Holgate, and Fleischman. But one is out on the course, the current world champion, Lucinda Green, on Regal Realm.
And she's just had a great fence at fence number 4, which is the Mark of Zorro. She took the corner there, which you can see is quite a gamble. She's coming up to the Crescent Oxer now, a very big fence with a 6-foot spread. She really sits back over the drop there because it's a long way down.
Well, she's just marvelous cross country, of course, as everybody knows. She's won badminton 6 times. She's the reigning world champion. And you can see why. She just lets him run and jump, and she is very, very aggressive. She's just a wonderful rider across difficult terrain.
You know, the best part about her is that the horses love her. She inspires the horses, where there are other riders that demand that the horses go, and she just inspires them to go. They love her. She's coming up to fence number 7. This has been the fence that has caused some trouble all day long today. Trots there, pops into the water, and very neatly done.
One stride, Tad.
One
top.
stride through the water and
Okay.
just bounced right up on top and off and in. These horses really have to think quick on their feet. They've never seen these jumps before. She comes around the turn, sets them up, and then he has to really figure out what exactly is in front of him. You can see his ears are pricked there. Makes a huge jump over that 6-foot wide table, handles it very well. And this horse is really cooking.
She's really horsebacking, Bill.
She really is. She just looks so comfortable going cross country, and she just lets him run and jump. She likes a more wide open course than this for that reason. She really goes over a course like badminton as if it were a racetrack. I mean, you never realize there are difficult fences there.
Another big fence, Watts Wall. 5-foot wide ditch in front of it, and he makes it look like nothing.
Bill mentioned badminton, a true test. All right. Coming out from New Zealand, we're looking at Mark Todd now on Charisma, standing 4th following dressage at Santa Anita.
And this horse and rider are a very talented combination, Chris. And here's Lucinda, and you can see she is really covering some ground. This horse is very fast. As we said, this is his forte, and this is where he shines.
She has won badminton 6 times with 6 different horses.
And Mark Todd is also a badminton winner. He's one of the few people who's challenged Lucinda's supremacy at badminton in recent years.
Lucinda coming up to the Fairbanks now. She has a choice of a quick way and a slower way, and she's opting for the slower way.
Yeah. She's got to produce a team score, Tad. Otherwise, she could really cost Great Britain a chance for a team medal.
She does that very neatly, though. Makes a quick turn.
And she can run and jump so well that she can maybe be very close to the optimum time, even going the slower way there.
And again, she gives him a pet. You know, she is so terrific because she just inspires her horses. There's nobody else as a rider that does it